Alright, so what's up guys? I want to do a little video on the DR. As you can see, she's changed a little bit since I got it. Nothing major, just a few add-ons. The main focus of this video is going to be the bags. So I'm running the DirtRacks, side pannier racks, and they've got some that are made more for actual panniers. These are kind of light duty for big pannier boxes, but you can mount them to them. These allow you to retain the factory grab handle, which is nice. I also have a rear rack on here that mounts up in that same location, and it all worked with the hardware they sent. It was plenty long enough to go through all that, and mounted up really easily. There was no fitment issues at all. I didn't even bother test fitting one side. I just put it on, went ahead and Loctited my bolts and then threaded them both in. Tightened this one down first because it's got no movement. And then down here in the front at the passenger pegs, this one's got a slot in it, so it can have a little slot for fitment. With the bags I've got on here, the strap's kinda in the way of my wife's foot. If we were to ride two up, the way I have the bags mounted, I can actually take these straps off. The bags will not go anywhere. These are the OGO bags. They're really more of like kind of a sport bike, sport touring bag. And what I've done, you can't really see it from the inside because the rain fly that's in here is stitched in the bottom. There's a gap behind it. And so what I did is I heated up a center punch and used it to poke a hole through the back side of the bag, and then threaded in 2 bolts. The top bolt, I used something really robust and strong. Don't ask me what the thread size is. I just grabbed it out of a jar I had, but I put a much bigger, stronger one on the top because I figured that would be taking more of the weight possibly than I used on the bottom, and was able to just thread them through. And I've got a thin aluminum plate on the inside that's probably about the size of a motorcycle license plate. So 6 to 7 inches long, 4 or 5 inches tall, and I drilled 2 holes in it that matched up with the hole pattern in the rack, and I stuck the plate in there, stuck the bolts through the plate, through the bag, and then bolted them to the mounting locations on the racks. Fitment, like I said, was great. It works out great with these bags. I'm able to use the straps to help support a little bit of weight, and also just to keep them flapping. They're real firm on the back as it is, not to mention I've sandwiched them with that metal plate, so they really shouldn't flex and move around, which is why I was saying if I'm not carrying anything super heavy, I can definitely lose the front strap, and the bags are not going to go anywhere. I mean, they're solid along the back, and the body of these OGO bags is pretty firm. So I could definitely lose at the very least the front strap, so my wife would have more room for her foot. And there's honestly, there's enough room. That strap's not pulled super tight, so there is enough room. As much room as there would be with the racks on here to begin with, because that's kind of what's going to be in the way, just as much as the bag itself would be. But yeah, the DirtRacks racks, great, highly recommend them. I've been commuting with this setup. It's the whole reason I got them. My top bag was not enough for me to carry everything I need in the wintertime when I'm commuting to work. As you can see, I've got the Tusk shields on here, or mitts, and they go over the stock, not stock, but they go over my wraparound hand guards and shields. So I don't have to take all that garbage off. And these are the same ones that I ran on my Suzuki Bergman scooter. The hole I had punched in them for my mirrors to thread through from the Bergman lined up decent enough with these. They don't look great. I could definitely make them look better if I was willing to put another hole for the mirror to go through. I could get them positioned a little better, but when you're going down the road, they kind of fold up top and bottom a little bit anyway, so I don't really care what they look like just sitting there. They serve a purpose, and they serve that purpose well. I forgot that I honestly even had my helmet hook on here. I forget about that thing a lot of times, but with the mitts on there, you can't just like throw your helmet on the bar, which I never really could anyway because of the wraparound hand guards. But you can always just set it on the mirror, over the mirror. But she's definitely a little bit more of a fatter girl now in appearance. The bags and the racks really don't weigh anything, didn't really weigh the thing down. I didn't adjust any preload settings on the rear shock, which I've already got aftermarket suspension anyway, Cogent Dynamics front and rear, set up for a 200-pound rider, so I was told. We're also running, I don't think you guys have seen this, we're running I forget what year model, but a YZF 450 fender on it. I got that mounted up a little while ago. A couple extra spacers in the back to keep the back of the fender off the header pipe. With the wheel turned just a little bit, there's maybe 3/4 of an inch gap, but that's only when it's slightly turned to the right, going down the road in a straight line, and there's plenty of room. And I have commuted on it back and forth to work, and I have set at red lights and idled and got hot, really hot. My strap here in the back's nowhere close to melting or doing anything weird, and the fender as well hasn't deformed or melted or anything. And if it did, I would just trim it off a little shorter. So anyway, there's an update on the DR650 with the DirtRacks racks and the OGO saddlebags mounted. So between the saddlebags, they're also expandable on the front. You can unzip this zipper all the way around. The front will pop out another, I don't know, 2 inches, maybe 3. So between that, the bag, and then the pillion seat for strapping down something larger like a tent. And like I said, I've still retained the grab handles. I can strap over a tent that's laid up here. I think I'm pretty well kitted out for taking a trip if I can just find the time to do so. So that's about all I got for this one, and I will catch you on the next one.